But when I was in prep, it was like I didn't even want anything. I just wanted to step on a stage. I just wanted that. I just wanted to take my shirt off and look shredded. Like that's all that. I just wanted to get better. I just wanted to be better, and I want to be more peeled, and I wanted to be more dangerous. Like that's all that I cared about. Nothing else mattered.
Rob, thanks for joining me tonight, buddy. The first studio special on my channel. This is awesome.
Welcome back.
This is great. Welcome back. I know you were episode 2 or 3, I think. One of them, one
Yeah,
of the
I was
first ones.
at the very beginning. I was a little chunky and chubby. That was like pre-prep.
Right. That was like the beginning. That was probably 3 months before we started working together, probably around last July. So
I
this
was probably
title,
250 something.
yeah, you were a big dude.
Yeah.
The title of this episode, an honest conversation about bodybuilding. So everybody listening, that's watching, that's what this is about. Rob did his first shows in the fall. He won 2 of the classes and came in 3rd in the other. It was an unbelievable performance. We're gonna talk about that. Incredible, his journey. I've been wanting to have this conversation for quite some time.
A while.
Yeah, and I thought you and I were honest with each other. We care about each other, and what a perfect format on YouTube on my channel now to present it. I've been doing this since 1991. Long time. My first bodybuilding show, Mr. Bay State, 1991. And I competed through 93. I competed again in 2012. And then I had a nice run from 2018 to 2022 where I won a few shows, made it to the Nationals twice, brought some great packages to the Nationals that I'm very proud of, even though I didn't place in the top 5. But it was eye-opening at that level, and that's one of the reasons I want to have this conversation. It's the commitment, the hormones that we're going to talk about, which I like to call the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about them. Like amongst all of us that compete and take them, we really
They're there.
backstage. We're not throwing that stuff around. We're just so happy to be there, and we're going to speak
We don't
about
talk. We don't even talk about it.
No, we don't. It's part of the game. I mean, it's allowed in the organizations we compete in.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a level playing field, right?
I agree.
So, Rob, let's go back to when you first started working with me. You had tried to compete a few times before. You came pretty close, but there were some obstacles. I know Colin got sick with leukemia really close to one of the shows.
Yeah, that was close, but more than anything, man, there was one that was physical. I ended up in the hospital, bad shape. But I let myself go to that limit. I mean, I was 195 pounds, like shredded, peeled out of my skull, still 3 weeks out, but just pushing the limits way, way past where they should be pushed. And that's what we do.
Yeah.
If you remember, or if anyone that watches, I used to be a heroin addict, so I'm not scared of anything really when it comes to the body. So I will push the limits, and I pushed it, and I ended up getting like cirrhosis of the liver, basically. My piss looked like Coca-Cola. My shit was white, and I was in agony, and I had to pull out. But that was like all during COVID too, right? And I didn't want to give up. So like I got my body right for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I just kept trying to go back at it. And then it changed from like my body wasn't responding as well. Definitely to the hormones I was taking, but not only that, the nutrition I was putting in and my lifts, everything was in a decline. But more importantly, my mental capacity was shot. Like I was gone.
Why do you think that was, Rob?
I think the depletion wasn't helping for the length of time I was in it because during COVID, every show was getting canceled.
Right.
So I was like 2 weeks out for like 2 months waiting for a show.
Hmm.
And the depletion killed me, the cardio, the lack of sleep, but like the solitude, man.
Yeah.
Just the aloneness of going into the gym of like early hours or late nights and coming home and everyone's asleep at home. And
Right.
then going to work and it's just like get my meals and get through the day, get back to the gym.
And can I say this to your point? Trying to hold that conditioning, that level of conditioning. Once you get on around 5% body fat and under, I probably could push that to 6. I mean, for me anyway, that's a tough level to stay
Yeah.
at for an extended period of time. And that depletion messes with your head, man. I mean, and to your point, the last several shows, I've isolated, meditating. I mean, I was like a monk, I loved it, but I was completely void of emotion, Rob. Like
Yeah.
you see me, and I don't even know how to describe it, but it's a deep state of presence, and this sport is a double edged sword because I'm going to miss it because of that. That's the part I love. I love when I'm at that point because I'm so focused and present, but it's so fucking dysfunctional. It's unbelievable.
My wife notices it more than anybody
Of course,
because I kind of just shut it down and uh, lack of sex drive,
right? People
huge
don't get that.
factor.
Yep.
You're just not like that lovey dovey. Like in general, I'm a softie. Like I really am, man. I love a good hug from the wife or like a cuddle in bed. Like that's just how I am. But when I was in prep, it was like I didn't even want anything.
Right.
I just wanted to step on a stage. I just wanted that. I just wanted to take my shirt off and look shredded. Like that's all that. I just wanted to get better. I just wanted to be better, and I want to be more peeled, and I wanted to be more dangerous. Like that's all that I cared about.
Right.
Nothing else mattered.
Right. And then, how tough is it on relationships too? I mean,
Oh
the people that you're closest to are the ones that get the wrath. And it's
yeah,
unfortunate because they're supporting you too.
yep,
Um, and it's hard to explain that to people until you actually experience it. I tell people that want to compete, and ask them their personal situation. And I always say, forget about whether you hire me or not. It's going to be, draining and challenging for your relationships.
my wife
And
is a trooper.
that's work
Y-
too, man.
yeah, you met my wife. She is a trooper. She 100%
Absolutely.
supports it. 100% supports anything that I put my mind to. I mean, whether it comes to the gyms that I've opened or the shows that I've done or the other cafe that we have, it doesn't matter. We put everything to like we back each other no matter what.
Right.
Doesn't mean she likes it. She would prefer me not do another one, I think. But to be honest, we don't even have one picture together.
The two of you?
Not one
Really?
on show day. Not one. And
Okay, on
that
show
makes
day.
me want to do a show again because I just want a picture.
Well, listen, this is how much I love and hate the sport. I'm going to say, let's do the Eastern USA this fall.
To be
Great.
honest, I haven't put much weight on it, and I'd get shredded pretty quick right now,
Yeah,
I
you could
think.
pull it together. Once you get
I'm
your diet under control.
only, I'm only like 228, which I know for a lot of people that's still, I'm only 5'9", but like that's small for me. Like I
Right. Well,
don't,
I've seen you. You're massive.
yeah,
Up
I'm
around
just
250.
yeah, I mean, listen, life show what was the title again? Just the real talk of bodybuilding. Like the real talk is life shows up sometimes, man.
Right.
Life shows up and bodybuilding, unless it is your income, and unless it is like what provides everything in your family and in your goals and everything else in life, like sometimes you need to put it in the back.
Yeah.
And that just has to happen. And that's just the truth of it. And you know what? Some people don't have that choice. This is their living. I mean, I'm 37 years old. It's not. I know you're not going to be a professional anytime soon that's supporting everything, and I know I'm not, and I need to prioritize time sometimes,
Right.
and bodybuilding, it gets that those things get in the way of bodybuilding sometimes
Yeah.
and make it tough.
Listen, especially like what I've been through for the last probably 9 months now, how ill I was, and I'm going to end up having to talk about it too, and we can allude to it a little bit. But weightlifting was stripped away from me for several months. I couldn't do anything, and I'll
Yeah.
tell you what. I remember thinking, if I can ever lift weights again, I'm just gonna embrace it. When you can't do it, it becomes you realize how important it is to you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I always say, like, when you fall in love with the sport and lifting weights, you always find your way back. You just can't live
Oh
without it.
yeah.
For the mental health alone, like, forget about everything else. The pump and having muscles is awesome, right? I mean, I love that, but
Yeah.
it's the mental health aspect that it
You still
really.
went every day. I
I
saw
did.
you
I
there.
couldn't do anything.
Oh, I know. Just walking around
It
doing
was oh,
whatever.
it was fucking pathetic. I grabbed like a 3 pound dumbbells. I tried to do dumbbell curls
Uh,
up, and my right hand just dropped it. I'm like, oh, and
uh,
I was like, I didn't want to pick it up. I just wanted to like crawl in a hole.
yeah, and I remember, but you were there. You showed up, and you know what?
Yeah,
Sometimes,
it was important.
sometimes that's all you got to do, man. Is just show up like that. Like, there's a lot of days at work that I just go and I just show up. And then there's days I show up and I'm at the top of my game, but I'm showing up every single day. And you did. You showed
It's
up
so
every day.
and to your point, I needed that routine.
Yeah.
I needed to be around that community. And for everybody that might be listening from the Zoo and Hooksett, and that's Rob's gym, thank you for everyone, the way you treated me. A lot of the people here at the gym I didn't know,
Yeah.
I'm a quiet guy, a little bit introverted. Um,
But
and
when
there
you
were
coach
people I
me,
could,
people know you.
but what's that?
When you're coaching the owner, people know who you are.
Yeah, exactly. So that probably, but I'm a pretty, you know, introverted guy. But anyway, it was really warm and made me feel good how concerned people were. And I mean, I had people not. I wouldn't even. I'd be trying to get up and somebody come over and hand me a box to lean on.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you for everyone there, and I'm very appreciative of that. And that's your gym, Rob. That's your community, buddy. So,
We have a
um,
great community there, man. We try really hard, and
it,
it's not a bodybuilder's gym. It's not a powerlifter's gym. It's not a certain organization's gym. We have
right,
people from all the organizations. And everyone's kosher with each other, and we're all similar people with the same goal in mind, and that is just to improve, and that's it.
right,
And as long as we're doing that, things are going in the right direction. That's why my gym never has anything broken. When things are broken, they get fixed. When
right,
pads are ripped, they get replaced. Because just as we are choosing to grow, the gym needs to grow with it. That's why we are always adding new equipment. We're adding the cycling. We're have to continue to improve, just
right,
as we do as people. And I think a lot of times that's forgotten,
right. I
you
think
know?
what you're pointing to is really also a level of attention to detail, right? Champions have attention to detail, they have
Yeah,
presence, and I think your gym is definitely a champion's gym. A lot of great athletes in there, a lot of great physiques, men and women.
yeah,
Um, and like I said, thanks to the community there.
yeah.
Um, Rob, I want to ask you though. First of all, it was an awesome ride with you. Like, I loved every fucking second of it. Training you,
Incredible.
talking you off the ledge here and there when you needed it.
Yeah,
All of
more
it. It was
often than not.
well. That's what happens,
Yeah.
right? It's tough. Um, what what was different this year? Why do you think you made it to the stage? I know you've always wanted to do it. You wanted to do it since you were a little kid. We talked
Yeah.
about that in the past. What was different this year?
I think there's a couple things. One, I'll give you credit. Every coach I've ever had was always like from a distance. You were there. Like you pushed me when an internet coach isn't ever going to be able to push you.
Right.
You were there, you saw things, you pointed things out, you corrected things, which I could see. And when I didn't see an improvement, you did. You would show me that improvement. And then those little improvements push you to the next day. Like,
Right.
I know they might not sound so minute, but when I'm looking at myself and I'm like, I'm flat as shit, man, I look bad. And you're like, no, but look here. Look here. You're improving here. This is where you're supposed to be. And you're showing me I can understand it, which then just pushes me to the next day.
Right.
And a lot of times in a prep, you're just trying to get to the next day. That's why you're 14 days out, you're 21 days out, right?
Right.
Like, because you're just one day, just a day, hit the day. I'll give a huge credit to my wife. Uh, I believe there's no successful man in this world without a successful partner. I am a firm believer in that. I don't
Hmm.
think if you can't be successful in your marriage, you're probably not going to be successful in any other part of your life in general. Um, and that isn't always the case, because there is marriages that you're just with the wrong person.
Hmm.
And that's going to happen. But when you find that right person, man, and you guys are jiving, I don't think I personally think it's unstoppable. And always backed me, always helped me, always reminded me, made my food, made my meals, made sure
Yeah.
everything was done. Like, your mind is so foggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you put 17 chemicals in your body and you sleep deprive yourself to 4 hours with 2 hours of cardio and an hour of lifting, you're gone.
Right.
And then you do a 12-hour
Absolutely.
shift.
Yeah. No, it's
there
it does,
ain't there
and
ain't
everybody
much
listen that doesn't compete in the sport right now will be like, what the hell? These guys are nuts. But like we're
that
just like everybody else, especially in the levels we're at. I mean, this is not a kid's game. We're going to
no.
talk about the elephant in the room in a little bit, but this is not a kid's game. Doing these hormones do not make the game easier.
Man, I had a
It's not
needle
a
in my
shortcut. Let me tell
body
you.
every day, every single day. Sometimes multiple times.
Let's you know what? Let's jump to that since we're already on it.
I'm not afraid to talk about it. Like,
No, no.
it's a
I
real
mean,
thing.
listen, for the national runs, what was shocking to people when I would tell them, and the funny thing is, when I finally told somebody, my friend David, he just, I could see the look in his face. He just was just, he didn't say anything. He was like just blank. There were times, when you're doing certain compounds, some of these compounds you have to do 2 or 3 times a day,
Yeah.
right? And if you're doing 2 compounds like that, that's 4 to 6 shots out of the fucking gate, right? You're out of the gate. You've already got to pin yourself. Let's
Yeah.
just say 4 times. And if it's on a day, where you've got, towards the last 6 to 8 weeks when you're increasing the compounds you're on, that's when it gets crazy because you're injecting yourself. Some days I was well over 10 to 12,
Yeah.
and then I remember one time for the 22 nationals, it was a few months before, that's about the time we met each other. We were talking about where to put it, and you were telling me to put it in my bicep and, stick
I
it in
was
your upper lat.
I
I'm like, are
ran.
you fucking kidding me? And I did. That's how crazy it is, Rob. I did. It was no
Yeah.
big deal. I'm like, yeah, this is
My
nothing.
lats were a saving grace, to be honest, because I was
Yeah,
running out of there's too much scar tissue, and this is a real issue, right? You need to
absolutely.
look a certain way, and you don't want it to build, and you're doing a lot of it because everyone else is doing a lot of it. Now, a lot isn't what some of these crazy people think, right? Like, I'm not doing 3,000 milligrams of testosterone. I'm not
Right.
pinning that much stuff, but it's an accumulative amount of compounds in your
And
body at
and the other thing
like
too is, you know, we're putting instead of injecting X amount, we're injecting half of that and doing the 2 injections because we can't allow that oil or whatever the compound is. To your
Mhm.
point, to leave lumps and stuff. I mean, and
Exactly.
then you're running out of places to put the needles. Like it was
Yeah.
the commitment was it. Like I said, it is not for the weak of heart. Like you really
No.
because and I will say this. Anybody listen, if you're thinking about doing it, or anybody that is listening and is already doing it, just make sure you're getting your freaking labs done regularly and pay
Just
attention.
be safe.
Yeah, it's this isn't something you're like, yeah, I'm gonna be okay, or bury me, but bury me big. I'm gonna, well, I used to say that stuff when I was 22. I've
No,
learned over the years, you really got to pay attention to this stuff, and you've got to,
you do.
there's a way to do it, and get your labs done, monitor your blood work, and that's the most important thing I would say, right?
And there's a way to do it, and there's a way to do it safely. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
And I'd say the third thing that kept me in at this time was just I wasn't quitting. Mentality.
yeah,
Just a straight willpower. There was
yeah.
nothing stopping me. I wanted to
You
win.
you it was a long journey, and you were dialed in from the beginning,
Yeah, I wanted to
and
win.
and I was with you, and I loved seeing how focused you were, um, and I knew you had something. Like I knew
Yeah,
if we could get there, you're gonna be in good shape. Like this is
and
you're
we
gonna have a
brought
shot.
something.
And I didn't want to tell you, like I didn't want to say, oh, you're gonna win. When you kept saying, I'm gonna win, I'm like, don't think like you're gonna win. Just think about bringing your best package to the stage.
And we
That's
took
all you have.
first in novice, first in masters
Oh,
35 plus.
and you rocked it with an incredible heavyweight class. That was an outstanding class.
Yeah,
That top five was top notch. That was top notch. You
that
know,
was. I still think I
you know,
had it.
um, it was competitive. I
I
mean,
still
some
think I
days are
had
not
seconds.
yours.
I still
I
think I had
I
seconds.
think you did too, but it's not up to you. It's
It's
not up to
not
me.
my
And I'll tell you what,
hand.
I talk about this all the time. I should have won the Eastern USA back in 2019. It still pisses me off. You know.
Yeah,
But that's because we're competitive. That's why. That's why
yeah,
competitive.
that's it.
All right. So let's kind of circle back a little bit to contest prep and some of the
Yeah.
challenges. I mean, digestion's a problem. All that food, managing all
Oh, I
that.
had we struggled
Yeah, we went through, and it wasn't just a few weeks. It was a couple months, dude. How
months.
did you get
Yeah,
through that? That was tough. That was probably the toughest part for you during
toughest
that
part.
prep.
It
At
was
least, like
hard to
from what
eat.
I could see.
It was hard to eat. Um, Stomach pains that were so bad. Um, I got through it. I'll tell you, cardio helped. You gave me a lot of tricks that helped.
Right.
I did a lot of Miralax, to be completely honest with you. Like Miralax saved me. It
Yeah.
just kept things moving. I made it like a regular thing. Um, but as long as, to be honest, I think the only way we got through it, right, is trying different methods because it felt like no backup was for the same reason. Like
Right.
there was no one solution fixed it every time, right? Like it
Yeah.
was like, okay, well, hold on, well, what's going on? Okay, we'll take this, we'll see what happens. Okay, it fixed it. All right, constipated again. Oh, try this again. Well, now that doesn't work. So let's try something else. Oh, that doesn't work. Now let's try, and we just until it came out,
Yeah.
and it was
It-
just a constant fight. My body absorbed a lot though. Like I felt like I don't know, my body like anything I would eat, it was just like sucked in like, immediately.
well,
Like
at that point you're a machine. Your metabolism's cranking. You're
yeah,
absorbing nutrition. I mean, it's just like talk about open receptors or digestion. Um, it's
if you
funny.
remember show day, I was going flat. You're like, oh shit,
I
what do
don't
you
even
have
remember
to
that.
eat? And
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had a Nutty Buddy.
That's right.
I had
For the night show. I'm sorry, for the night show. Right.
yeah, I had a Nutty Buddy. I had like a yogurt. I had a pudding. I had just some random stuff, and you're like, eat everything.
Didn't I say something like, "Do you have any more glucose wafers or something?"
Yeah,
I remember we had glucose, to
yep.
blow you up. I'll tell you what though, freaking, you look great at the night show, by the way. But prejudging, man, you were so jacked, like you
I
were
know.
so full. It was the best I've ever seen you.
Yeah,
Was
it
at
looks great.
prejudging,
It looks great.
phenomenal. And you were
It looks
worried
great.
about like not, you're like, I don't know my conditioning, and I was like, dude, you were so. About a month out, I was looking at you, I'm like,
I was
for your
peeled.
first show, you're going to be tough to beat. You're just going to be tough to beat.
And
And
I'm
that's,
gonna be back. And I'm gonna be back. I already know I'm gonna be back. I got some things business related that are coming out and freeing up time, and you can't bodybuild 50%. You
no,
just
no, it's
can't.
not possible. It's not
It's,
possible.
it's just not gonna work. You got to be 100%. You got to be all in.
Right.
And if I'm not able to give it my all, I'm not even gonna try. Uh, I just don't see a point.
No,
And
I would agree with that, Rob. I mean, this is not the sport that you do half-ass. Um, Forget about how much you expose yourself on stage and people critiquing you, which is tough anyway with judges looking at you like you're a meat slab. um, you're just you're not gonna serve yourself well. You're gonna get hurt.
yeah,
Something bad's gonna happen. So um, you
I'm
know
still lifting great. I'm still 5 days a week. I eat about 4 meals. But I
yeah,
enjoy myself. You know what I mean? I'm not worried if I miss a meal. I'm not freaking out. You know what I mean? And I can't be like that right now. If I'm like that right now, I will. I already know myself. I know
yeah.
myself enough to say, like, hey, and just relax. Like, it's
Right now
okay.
you need to. Right, like when I was sick recently, Rob, I used to tell myself, just allow yourself some grace right now. Go ahead and eat about 10 boxes of ice cream sandwiches. Who
It's
fucking cares?
okay.
It's
It's
gonna make you
okay.
feel good, and consequently, I got fat as fuck. But you know what? I still would do it all over again because it got me through it, and now I've got some
Yeah.
work to do. And
You're
that's it.
lifting.
But the point is, sometimes you got to allow yourself some grace, right?
Yeah. That's it.
We allow it to everybody else. Why don't we freaking allow it for ourselves?
Yes.
And not only that, but if you were competing right now, you'd be killing somebody with the stress you
I
have
would
with
be.
work and stuff. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, there'd
A
be
lot of
bodies.
people on here don't know, and a lot of people that know me don't know, but I do. There's a lot that I do in life. So, and the
Mm,
goal, bodybuilding is just another thing that I have to give 100%. I just have
right.
to.
Well,
Um,
you're a lot like me in that sense. When I find something that I really want, nothing gets in the way. I'll die. And
yeah.
that served me well up to a point with bodybuilding because you know, in 2022, I ended up in the hospital with a blocked intestine.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
that.
that was 4 days before the nationals. What's messed up about it? Now it was brutal, dude. I could have died. Like they tried to admit me, um, late on like a Sunday night, and I'm like, I remember turning to my daughter and just saying, Eva, I'm driving to Pittsburgh tomorrow. I'm not getting admitted. So,
Mhm.
and I look back and I'm like, God, that was the dumbest thing. But that just goes to show you how committed I was at the time to succeed. I was willing to leave the hospital against medical orders, or medical, diagnostics. Um, and I think that's the part of the obsession that gets risky for most of us, right? It's not going to happen to me. I'll be all right. But I want to win. I'm nothing's going to stop me. Um, and I think that permeates the sport a little bit too. What's your thoughts on that?
Um, yeah, I mean, you feel invincible,
Right.
right? Like, I didn't think anything could stop me. Like, and that's honestly a negative, but it can be a positive too, right?
Right.
And that's the thing about it is a positive and a negative. We just have to make sure we pay attention to it, right?
Right.
Like, you have to pay attention to listen to your body, like, especially as you get older,
Yeah.
especially as you get, and that, especially with you lately. I mean, for you to get through what you had to get through. I mean, I see you now. You were lifting the other day. I can't
Right.
believe it. I didn't think you would ever get there again. But
No, you
I
said
mean,
that to me. You said,
if you didn't have that mentality of pushing your body to the absolute limit, maybe you'd be healthier today.
yeah.
You
Well,
never know.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. You had said to me when I was sick, um, "Do you think you'll ever lift weights again?" And I said, "Of course." And you said, "I don't think so, Stu." And I just looked at you. Oh, I was thinking, he's lucky I'm sick.
I know, but you were bad, man. I
Oh, dude,
thought
it was. I felt bad for all the people that had watched me like that too.
you couldn't
And
even
like I
stand
said,
up.
it was a great community, and I knew it was hard for them to see me like that. For everybody, listen, I was recently diagnosed with, I guess it's indifferential autoimmune disease. I have two different overlapping autoimmune diseases: dermatomyositis and polymyalgia rheumatica. And what's funny is the polymyalgia rheumatica is really affects women like over 65 or 70. So I'm I'm an anomaly, so that's an odd one. But the two diseases, autoimmune diseases, are no joke, man. I didn't know much about them till this happened, and it was at a point where I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't lift my arms. I couldn't lift my legs. I'll tell you, you wanted me to sleep over with you at the hotel in Boston the night before the show, and I remember
Hmm.
thinking, "You're not going to. I can't. You'd be hearing me screaming trying to sleep.
You
Like
took
you.
a nap. You took a nap in the middle of the day, and I heard you
Oh, we
screaming.
went back. That's right.
I
That's
remember you
right. I slept on the
screaming.
couch the day of the
I
show.
remember you screaming. Took you 30 minutes just to get up, but we needed a rest.
We
I
did,
was,
but
I
and I
was,
fell asleep though. I was so
I
freaking
did
tired, dude.
too. I did too. I was
You know,
gone.
that was
I was
awesome.
gone. That was, yeah, it was great. Great.
And like I tell you, when I was at the Nationals, you realize how great the physiques are. And it's such a cool community to be a part of. Like for your first show, you did the New England's, and that was an outstanding show. There was a lot of great physiques, men and women, a lot of great talent, and you won. You
Yep.
know, and you're going to remember that. And you know, the 22 Nationals will be my last show. I mean, I'm not going to compete again. And I brought a level of conditioning that I've never brought before. There was no one tighter than me at the Nationals. No one. You might have been close. You might have been with me, but no one was better. And it would have been great if I came in the top five. But um, I hold that journey as probably my shining, my most the show
Yeah.
that I'm most proud of. And I've
Yeah.
won shows, but that was the one I just felt that when I went through those last 4 days driving to Pittsburgh, um, I
It
don't
just
know.
meant something extra to you.
Yeah, it was just in the end when I look back at it, that was my shining moment. I loved it. And how
Yeah.
crazy is that? Because I could have died 4 days before, but I
Yeah.
made it through, and
You
here I
did.
am to talk about it. I guess, right?
Yeah.
You know, um,
And just
Rob,
like I remember the shining moment, my daughter, dude, cheering in the crowd, and my son.
fucking cool. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Let's go back to show day again. Let's really talk about that. I drove in, and you were. I ended up seeing you outside the venue, and we
Mm.
chatted. Um, what was it like being backstage when you first got there in the morning? Walked back there, had to sign in. How did you feel? Very first show. Must have been
I
proud. You
was,
must have.
yeah, I was excited, proud, but I was terrified, and everyone knew everybody else,
Right.
and like I didn't know anybody, and honestly, if you want me to be truthful, I'm judging everyone that walks through that door already. Like do I look better than him? Do I look better than him? I look better than him. Like, is he in my class? Like immediately
Right.
because I'm so competitive. I just want to win. And so
Right.
I'm like not even really thinking in the moment like I should have been because I was so focused on like what everyone looked like and everyone's covered up, right? And I didn't have I forgot my show music
That's right.
when I walked in, so I was like, fuck. And but it was what it was, right? My actually the came out great the song they picked, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh no, it
uh,
was perfect.
it was perfect. And what even song? It was Journey. It was Journey.
The house
And
music.
no, it was Journey, I believe. No, it was
Wasn't it?
Queen. It
It was
was Queen.
It was. They have house music for that stuff. I don't remember the exact song, but
No, it was
um,
Queen.
was it?
It was Queen.
Okay.
I'll remember it. But what's it called? Yeah, I was just judging everyone, thinking about really. I was just nervous, and everyone knew everybody. And then I wanted you there, to be honest, because I like didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, what should I be? I don't know if I should eat right now. Like, what do I didn't know what to do.
Right.
And my phone was dying. I remember I had like 6%. I'm
Oh,
like,
that's right.
oh my God.
Yeah.
And nothing was going right. Uh,
Fuck.
and then I found a nice corner upstairs. Like, you couldn't believe how much space I had.
Oh, dude, I've sat in hallways in elementary schools for hours. So like this venue, where was it again? What's the name of the venue?
It's
They
in
did the
Boston. I can't remember.
Yeah, but it was like a club, but they had a upper deck where you had like booths and stuff.
Yeah.
And you Rob ended up finding like a whole booth for himself. I mean, we could have had a
Yeah.
picnic there. That was
I
awesome.
know.
I was like, how the hell did this happen?
Yeah.
Um,
And everyone
but
was friendly. Remember the
yeah, no, it's a great
kid gave me
environment.
a
I mean,
couple shots of vodka. He gave us
just
the whole
mellow you out,
bottle.
dry you
Yep.
out a little bit. But
Dried
you
me
know
out
what,
a little bit.
Rob, to your point though, I think when you go in for your first show, that's what you do. You size up your competition. I think the more you compete, like you won't be doing that at all the next show. You won't even give a shit.
Yeah.
Who cares? Because I'm telling you, the only thing that matters is worrying about yourself in this sport, like many other
Yeah.
sports, but more so in this one. But I think that's just the first. That's the first show. That's the first show jitters, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we all do that, But I thought it was great that your family was there, and
Yeah.
of course, winning. How did you feel when you won, buddy? I mean,
Oh,
it's an incredible feeling.
incredible, man. Best feeling. People will never understand what it's like.
Yeah,
Man, I just yeah, I know I didn't win the overall, and you know what? Honestly, I was there to win the overall, but was there. My goal was to win 35s. Like, that
right.
was, no matter what. That was my first goal, and then it was like, hey, if I get overall, awesome. But my sister and my wife and you and everyone just cheering the second I'm walking on. I'm not gonna get emotional. It was fucking awesome, dude. I
It's an ex-
can't. People will never understand what it's like unless they do it where you dream about something since you're a little kid.
yeah, and the sacrifice that you make to get to that stage, to when you're rewarded like that for your hard work,
I
it's
failed so many times, dude.
it's so
I sort of,
emotional. It is. It's a
I failed,
well for
and
you
my
too. I
kids,
mean, you've
and
been
my
so
kids
close.
got to see it,
I mean, how cool is that?
dude.
That's
Awesome, so
it was
incredible.
it was awesome.
And I looked great, and Jose Raymond said I had the best calves in the show.
Oh yeah, you had great legs that
It,
day. Well, you have great legs anyway. But you were separated in the quads. Your hams were separated. Calves look great. Your glutes were
yeah,
nice and tight.
I was peeled.
You brought a great package for your first show. That was you don't see that very often, Rob. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
That kind of level of conditioning and size for somebody's very first show. There are freaks out there. I've learned that over the years. There's just people that are absolute circus freaks.
yeah.
And you're
But
kind of one of them, but you just don't see it very often. That's all.
yeah,
So it was
and
great to see it and be a part of it.
and what I can encourage people, man, I'll tell you, like, I've done it a few times already, man. Like, really setting your goal at something and doing the sacrificing that you're talking about, and going even further than that, and then achieving exactly what you were striking. And like that feeling of it's like nailed it. Like, I've done that with Hooksit. I've done it at work, and then I've done it with that. Like, but bodybuilding was always just something even bigger because I had just tried so many times and failed. But achieving something that like you really like desire is no better feeling, dude.
You
And
know,
like, just have like everyone around you see you do it. makes it even better, right? Like, because a lot of people get like jealous online if they see like a Rolex or if they see like a Porsche. Like, I do have nice things, right? Like, and it's almost like a jealousy comes out. But when that happened, there was no jealousy. It was just like pure happy for me.
Right.
And I'm just so fucking proud of it, right? Like,
Right.
my
As you should be.
daughter's like, damn, like, that's my dad.
Well, I think
Yeah.
to your point, when people look at it, it's just a lot of respect for somebody that does that,
Yeah.
and whether they're jealous people or not, you got to respect that level of commitment. It's so difficult. So, I respect everybody that competes. It's anybody that gets on stage, they put themselves through some things that most people wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Where do you
But you
think?
got to do that. You got to challenge yourself, man.
Yeah, I listen. I love it. It was challenging. I remember for the Eastern USA, I'm getting ready to walk on stage for the night show, and it's packed. It's a great venue. They have it at the Marriott in Teaneck, New Jersey. It's packed. It's absolutely packed. And the music starts playing, and I got dry mouth. I was so nervous. I'm like, what am I doing here? And then it was a snap of a finger. I'm on the stage, and it just felt so great. So, sometimes we got to push ourselves out of comfort zones.
Absolutely.
And I've said this before about this podcast. This, in the beginning, was way out of my comfort zone. I'm a very introverted guy. I don't like, I love to talk, but I'm not very, outgoing like that. And this is another challenge for me, and I love it. Like, that's what
Yeah.
life's about. Doing things and accomplishing
Yeah.
and continuing to push yourself into areas that are out of your comfort zone,
Absolutely. That's what
And,
we got to do.
yeah, and people listening, bodybuilding for me taught me a lot of lessons, right? I found out who I am, what I'm all about, learned a lot about myself, and I carry that with me. Now, I posted something to YouTube, I put a picture up from the Nationals in 2022, great shot, but I said, we all have different versions in our life. We go through different chapters, but I learned a lot from this particular chapter. And
Yep.
now it's on to another chapter, right? I'll always be a bodybuilder in my heart. I will always have this love-hate relationship with it. I don't like where the sport is now, currently, compared to where it was even 15 years ago. I don't like this. I don't like the physiques in bodybuilding. Classic physique is a different story. They're doing a pretty good job with regulating
Yep.
how the physiques look. But bodybuilding is just, I don't find those physiques attractive at the pro level. Whereas there was a long time where I did, man. How do you feel about that? What's your opinion on
I mean, some I like, some I don't. Like, not a big fan of like Derek Lunsford or Nick Walker, but I
that?
am a
Right.
fan of like Samson Dauda, and I am a fan of Andrew Jack. Like, I do think bodybuilding shape matters, and
Absolutely.
genetics matter, and blockiness doesn't beat shape.
No.
It just doesn't. And I'm sorry, but that's just my opinion, and that's why there's judges, but bodybuilding, like, I don't understand how a Derek Lunsford can be Mr. Olympia. I don't understand
Yeah.
that. I do not understand that over a Samson or a Andrew Jack or even a Hadi Chopin. I mean,
Yeah.
Hadi is beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
he,
It was
he is like
surprising.
the definition of a bodybuilder,
Yeah, he's great.
and he isn't blocky. He's always maintained, knowing he's small, but building on his frame in the correct way. And I just don't understand it. Like Nick Walker, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's big and he's huge, but it's ugly,
Yeah.
in my opinion. You know what I mean? I mean, put Chris Cormier next to him.
Yeah. Or
That
Flex
is
Wheeler
prime.
back in the day. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
um,
I mean,
or
put even like
go back.
Jay Cutler, who was
To say you could go
considered
back to Jay's era
blocking.
with what's his face that won 7 times in a row.
Ronnie Coleman.
Jay. No, after Ronnie, he was competing with. He came in towards the end of Jay's career. He won 7. Phil Heath.
Oh, Phil Heath. Yeah,
Is that his
beautiful.
name, Phil Heath? He's got a
Yeah,
great physique too. So, but
beautiful.
even that, you don't. They've gone so far across the aisle for just mass.
Yeah,
It's
I
almost
don't
like
understand
in some
that.
of the physiques, there's not a lot. At the Olympia, I don't know if it's the lighting.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like the conditioning doesn't look too good on some people, too.
No, I agree. I agree.
So
It should be more of an emphasis on shape, in my opinion, which classic physique has done. I still think open it will always be the best.
hmm
But like I don't think there's a point of 212. I think 212 is stupid. Like
yeah, I think you
212.
just got to put them all together.
I
At
mean,
this
Hadi
point,
Chopin was in 212. Derek Lunsford was in 212. I mean, the list goes on of people that were in 212
right?
that came out and were very successful. Like, believe it or not, what's that Canadian guy? Reagan Grimes. I think he is a phenomenal bodybuilder.
Yeah, he's got
He
great
has the
physique.
shape and everything. He just can't nail his condition, dude. Like, I think if he ever nailed his condition, he would be dangerous.
Yeah,
He just never has.
yeah.
Uh,
Jay Cutler's a big fan of him. Jay
yeah.
talks about yeah.
I think
Uh,
Jay's great. I think yeah, Jay. I think the best era was like the Jay Ronnie day. Yeah, maybe like early Ronnie days. I
I would
would.
say late '90s to mid to late '90s to probably 2010,
Yeah,
2012 ish. And I'd have to adjust
when
that, but
Ronnie's gut was so big,
yeah, it changed.
I'm
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
I'm out.
right.
Um, but like 4 wins with Ronnie, a little bit around there. Around his fourth win, that's when things started to change, and it was just like big, 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 big.
Oh,
It's not. Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
and
big if you're tall. Big if you're
it
tall.
right. It's funny just to circle back to the hormone stuff. When I tell people, I don't talk about it very often, but sometimes I'll open up about it with someone, and I'll tell them that, we're doing hormones, and they're like, they don't test you for that, and no, they don't. The organizations we compete in, they don't. But people don't. They can't relate to that. It's like that's how different what we're talking about is towards like
Yeah.
normal,
Mhm.
um, or the organizations
Even
that do test.
my wife is just like blown away by.
Yeah,
She's like, it's
yeah,
fucking crazy.
it is. It's a nut, and here we are talking about, and of all the negative things I said about it, I still love.
Every second of it, man.
I
The
do, I
good, the
do, and
good,
I'm
the
gonna miss
bad,
it.
the indifferent.
Yeah, but I thought about it. I can get myself to a point again where I feel like a bodybuilder. I just won't be able to compete. And you know what? That's a win.
Yeah.
The fact that I'll still be lifting weights at 60, 65, 70 when I finally get to all those ages. And, I said to you before, I'm never going to quit.
Yeah.
I just don't have it in me,
No.
and what's great though too, just kind of talking about all your community, in a lot of the gym communities, how the younger generations kind of, it's popular,
This
it is, they
bodybuilding is bigger than it's ever been. And
absolutely, and
that's
it's good. I struggle with protocols and like etiquette in the gym. There's a lot of these kids. I grew up at a different time, so it's a little bit different etiquette. But
people have to
otherwise, it's
stop being
awesome.
tricked by all these peptide companies and this, that, and the other. Like,
Yeah.
listen, guys, beautiful physiques were made without all these peptides.
No, I get asked a
Some of
lot about
them,
that stuff. I don't.
help, sure. Like BPC and retatrutide, sure, yeah, it works, it helps, but none of that's even necessary to have a kick-ass physique. None of it is.
Oh,
The raw stuff is, but all these
yeah,
peptides, like a lot of times people just getting scammed, man. And that's
yeah.
like, it's sad.
I don't know much about them. I've never really taken them. I mean, I've taken growth hormone, but as a compound. But I tell the kids in the gym, the younger ones and the ones that I train, there's no need at the age of 18, 19, 20 to go anywhere near them, near
No.
hormones. Your testosterone is its highest it'll ever be. Your metabolism is
Eat.
operating at the highest it'll ever be. You're
Just
probably living at
eat.
home, eating your parents out of freaking house at home now that you lift the weights. Take advantage of that. You
Yeah.
know. Now, if somebody decides to compete down the road, and I might chat with them a little bit, but unless you're competing, there's no reason to go down that road, right? I
No,
mean,
I agree.
there really isn't.
I used too early. I used at
Oh, I
like
did too.
18,
I started way too
17.
early. I was a little older. I think I was 21, or
Yeah, I was
yeah, I was 20.
17 years old.
And it didn't do anything for me, Rob. I didn't know
No.
what I was doing.
And then
It
I
was
did
just
pro hormones and stuff. They had like orals,
and all
and
that
I would
stuff.
take those. Yeah, over the counter stuff.
I'll tell you, it's the sport of bodybuilding and nutrition's changed in the last since I've been a kid, like 30, 40 years, man. It is unbelievable.
Next
I
level
mean,
now.
oh my God! If you told me this when I was a kid, I just I would have not had anything to say. You know,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable, and it's great to see. And I train a lot of older people. When I say older, in their 70s,
Yeah.
and weightlifting is just so freaking beneficial at so many levels. So,
Hmm.
that's where my passion is. Helping others. We've talked about that too, but I hope this conversation reaches some people. And for
Absolutely.
people that are listening and watching, feel free. Please comment. You got an opinion you want to share away. Let's talk about things. Talking about things is our superpower, and
Hmm.
I'm glad we get to do it. You know,
Absolutely.
this is cool. All right, so we got to wrap it up at some point soon. Rob, any final thoughts?
Um, More than anything, just chase your dreams. If you want to lift weights, if you want to try to do the bodybuilding thing, man, just do it. Just try
Yeah,
it. And like, if it's not bodybuilding, it doesn't matter what it is. Just do whatever you really want to do. Just try it and give it
right.
all you got. If it don't work, it don't work. But I'll tell you, if it works, you might be fucking surprised, man. I'll tell you, it was awesome. It's happened for me, and it's earned me a life beyond my wildest dreams. Like, you see my life. So,
Yeah,
and that's all from just chasing dreams and taking risks. You know what I mean? And being
you,
consistent
you,
and not giving up. And like, that's bodybuilding 101. So
it is.
a lot of it stems from bodybuilding completely.
It
So,
does. It does. And you know, sometimes I forget somebody said to me one time. She referred to me as a bodybuilder, and this was like after I won the color, I think. And I said, I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't, and I was serious. And she's like, what do you, like, laughed at me. Like, I never associated myself with bodybuilding. Like, for some reason, I didn't. But I'm proud to be a bodybuilder. I
yeah.
wouldn't change anything that I've done, Rob.
No.
Nothing. Everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. The lessons we learn in life, your journey, your past. Now look at your accomplishments. You never quit fighting through all
No.
your misgivings that happened. And then, to have bodybuilding, I am a bodybuilder. I'll always be a bodybuilder. That's just the way it
Mhm.
is. And it feels good to talk about it, you know?
And I'm damn proud to be one. You know,
Yeah,
that's
good, bad,
look,
and indifferent. Man, it's been a great journey, hasn't it?
it
And
has.
you're just
And
getting
it's not
started.
done yet. Oh, it's
No,
not done yet. Like I said, there's many shows to come. Um, Once I get life in order, I'll be able to do a lot more.
absolutely. Rob, thanks for joining me today. Don't go away. I want to talk to you after we're done signing
Yes,
off here,
sir.
okay? So hang out with me. Listen, everybody that watched this on YouTube or maybe on a streaming service, please comment, share, like. This was a conversation that I'd love to continue. Again, we're going to release this as a special edition for the studio. Not necessarily an episode, but it'll be up probably for the next week or two. So, again, thanks for joining us today. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. And I will see you next time on the studio.